Hello boys and girls, once again welcome to Music City Model Works here in Nashville. We'll start off by hoping everyone had a nice Thanksgiving and everybody stayed safe and all that. Been away for about 3 or 4 weeks, had some computer trouble. Been watching some of your videos on my little stepson's notebook. I have Wi-Fi here, so the notebook is about as primitive as the writing on scrolls, but it got the job done as far as watching a video or two. Kept me from jonesing too bad to see you guys do your work. Anyway, sent my motherboard back to Intel. It was still under a warranty from where we had upgraded to some more memory and a new motherboard and another graphics card, and we got that a little under a year ago. So it was still under warranty, and they honored the warranty. I sent it to them. They sent me a brand new motherboard back, and processor was good. They sent the processor first, and then they sent the motherboard back after they checked it. They were going to try to repair it, but they said it was just wasn't worth repairing, and so they sent the motherboard back replaced. So I was glad of that. But anyway, so I got that back Friday. Took a couple of pics to send by email to some people, and took my my memory card rather, out of my camera, put it in the tower. Pulled up the computer to copy and paste it in an email, or drag and drop, whichever, and it didn't recognize the memory card. I thought, well, I just had got the system back up and running, and it was prompting me to do the enter the activation code, or put the numbers in for the activation code. I said, you've got like 3 days to activate. At the time, I just really didn't feel like doing it, and so I just put it off for a day or two. So anyway, I did that. A couple of days later, got the activation code in on the phone with Microsoft, and had the Windows 7 officially activated, up and running. I thought, well, maybe that's it. Put the card back in there, still wouldn't read it. So evidently, when my motherboard went bad, something kicked in. I don't know if that USB port's bad, where the memory card goes, or what, but my oldest stepson actually went and bought me a $30 external card reader, or USB device. So I'm back at business as far as videos and pictures go for now. I'll worry about the USB port in the tower some other time. But my computer luck actually is transferred over to my model luck. I don't know if you remember, some of you that are have seen me talk about the Hemi under glass, or heard me talk about it. The paint, I didn't like the paint, so I put that model aside. Worked on the ball with Motion Camaro, and had every intention on this being the final update for the Camaro. Friday night, my stepson, youngest stepson, had one of his little friends over to spend the night, and I had everything finished on the car. I had except for the body. Body was painted, everything was on. The only thing I really liked on the body was having the rear bumpers, the rear bumper, and some, I think, the side mirrors, and a couple of other things, just some touch-up paint work, trim, that kind of thing. The rest of the car was ready to go. Had the interior in, the chassis was together, wheels on, motor in, everything was ready for the body to go on. So the little friend of his wanted to see some of the models, so I took him around and showed him some of the models I had around the house and here in the model room, and I've got a couple on our mantle and on the fireplace in the living room. So he asked me, was I working on anything? I said, yeah, I've got a Camaro I'm getting ready to finish. And he said, well, can I see it? And I said, yeah. So they were at the kitchen table chomping on some pizza, so I said, well, y'all just stay there. The kitchen kind of comes in here to the model room, just one door, and you're in here. So I said, I'll go get the parts I've got finished. I mean, the chassis and the motor and all that. And I said, the body's still in there. So I said, I'll come show you the real workings of the car. The body's, no big deal. So I went and set it on the kitchen table. They were, kind of Googling over it, and the little guy, he's oohing and eyeing over the detail and the spark plug wires and the fuel line and all that. Well, Chevy Cheeseburger and I think Andy X can identify with what I'm getting ready to tell you now. I think Chevy Cheeseburger's was his little granddaughter. I think Andy X's was what I'm getting ready to tell you. My cat and my little Chihuahua Jack Russell mix decided that this was an opportune time to play chase. So they came running through the living room, down the hall, into the kitchen. My cat decided that the quickest and best route of escape was via the kitchen table and then into the bedroom. So he shot across the kitchen table, which he never does. At least he does it. If he does it, he does it when I'm not here. And his last launch off the table, you've seen the runners in the Olympics, doing the 100-meter dash or whatever. He used the model for a starting block, and his last launch sent the model just it was like everything was in slow motion. I could see it, just like he was it was a film that was being taken of him. He made that last leap, front legs outstretched, back legs kicking the model up into the air. It shot through the air. We have a set of French doors that go from the kitchen to the living room all on the other side. They were shut. It slammed into the door into 1,000 pieces, some of which I have yet to find. I could not have done any more damage to that car, or the chassis and motor and everything but the body. I could not have done any more damage had I picked it up with my hand and slung it against the wall. I just have to tell you, I just absolutely thought the top of my head was going to come off. I didn't even try to salvage anything. I just started scooping up parts, and I was so mad. I just picked up parts and slung them in the trash can. And I was kind of embarrassed for his little friend, but I threw them in the trash can. I reserved myself to the point to where I did not use profanity in front of the little kid. And if I could have caught the cat, I would have killed him at that point, I think. But I grabbed my coat, I got my keys, I got in my truck, and I took a little ride and just rode around a little bit, and I actually went to Hobby Lobby of all places and just walked around and just tried to chill out a little and regain and compose myself. And so I think everybody, my wife, I was going out the door, my wife said, what's wrong, just leave me alone, let me calm down. Out the door I go into Hobby Lobby. I come back, and I guess they felt bad, and they kind of give me, the family kind of give me some of my Christmas. So I got 4 new models. They went ahead and let me have a little early Christmas present. So that kind of made it nice. So, but anyways, I've moved on, and that's enough of that. So, but those things happen. You have to be prepared for them. I guess I could have put it back together. Well, I would have had to have had some more parts. When I come back, I did find 4 or 5 parts I found some I moved the refrigerator out. Found a couple of parts under there. Found a couple in the corners behind the stove, kind of, and I put those in the parts box. There's a couple of wheel pieces, and I think a rim and a piece of maybe a valve cover or something. I can't remember, but anyway, I put that up, and that's all that's left of the Camaro. And a nice blue body painted Deja Blue Testors 1 coat. So I will put that on something probably down the road. So anyway, so I moved on, and here's what I'm going to do now. the school bus. I've already started on it just a little bit, not much. I've actually done the blocks, the 2 blocks. It has 2 motors in it, and I think one of the issues of this kit, the box said that these were Hemis. I'm not so sure about that, but I went ahead and painted them orange, and I'm gonna got the transmissions masked off, and I'll do those in aluminum. I've got some things planned for this. This is not going. First of all, this is not going to be your typical school bus. It's not going to look like the box at all. I mean, this is a cool kit. I wanted this kit when I was a kid and never did get it, and so Chris and I were emailing back and forth a month or so ago at Classic Plastic 101. We were kind of talking about the old Tom Daniel kits, and so I decided to go ahead and get this. Well, that's about all I've done really to it. I've painted the top part of the frame, which is actually the part that surrounds the driver, or the driver sits on rather. And I actually made this color up myself. It's a combination of platinum, 2 kinds of metallic silver, and a touch of hippo gray to kind of give it a steel color. And I thought it come out pretty good. And it's almost identical to the Tester's acrylic steel. Pardon the arm there. I can find it. Yeah, there it is. So I was kind of pleased with the way that came out. I just wanted to see if I could duplicate that pretty close, and I thought I got fairly close. I wanted this a little bit darker than just an aluminum. The bottom the instructions want you to paint it this same color. I'm going to paint it satin black, and then I'm actually going to leave the chrome, most of the chrome. I know those of you who've seen videos of mine before, I've talked about how I despise model chrome, most of it. Some of the newer stuff looks a little bit more realistic, more like real chrome. I took some Create Effects gray stain and went over this once. Tried to knock just a little bit of the shine off. But this is a Tom Daniel kit. It's supposed to be, you know, kind of a showy type deal. So I went over this with the gray stain to kind of take some of the chrome shine out, but still actually be chrome and look chrome. So that's where I'm at with that. Here are the colors I'm going to be using. I guess it'll be we. You'll be along with me if you choose to do so. We're going to have Tester's acrylic, gloss black, clear blue, school bus yellow, bright red, and these are the craft acrylics in the 2-ounce bottles. Pure orange, and as I said, the platinum, one brand of, or one color of metallic silver. This is a little darker metallic silver. The Delta Ceramic Coat black, and the Hippo gray. These are the colors that, and maybe a mix of a couple more, probably in the grays, silver or the grays, whatever, just to change some shades up a little bit. But that's what we're going to do with the colors. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with the body. I'm just going to let that. I'm not real sure I know what I'm going to do with it. So I do know one direction I want to head. I'm not sure that I can make that work, but I may try it, and then if I don't think it's going to work, I'll do something else. So at any rate, that's where we're at. You know, I hope my modeling luck changes a little bit here. I normally don't take my models out of this room when I'm building them for any reason other than to take the bodies in wet sand, or if I have to, or whatever, along that line. I do everything in here. I paint and everything else. But they were sitting there with the pizza, and I said, well, just stay put. I'll bring the car to you. So note to self, don't do that again. But that's pretty much it for now. I think we'll call this one finished. Oh, I do want to show you one more thing right quick. I have kept time on this. I hope I'm not running too long. I wanted to show you something that I did do, and I took this page out of Chris's Classic Plastic 101, Chris's book of old school techniques. I've actually done this once before I saw him do it many moons ago. If you buy this kit, the first thing you want to check and see if you want to be okay with it is this bus body is not one piece like it is now. It's two pieces. I wondered why until it dawned on me. Well, stupid. The reason why is that this part from the body, from the front of the main body to the back, takes up the whole box. They would have had to have used a bigger box if they made this body all one piece. So this hood cowl area is a separate piece. Now, the problem that I had with it is that this mates up to a flat surface that's about 1/4 of an inch wide. And I know if you've watched Chris's video on his alien, where he had, I think, the arms that went into the shoulder and the tail that went onto the body, was just a plastic on plastic surface. There was no pin to hold, or no slot to notch, no pinning mechanism for the two pieces to mate together. They were just stuck together. Well, that's what this was. I could have probably gotten by with 5-minute resin on the mating surface. The problem was that this did not fit at all. It may have just been this kit. I don't know. They did have, when I opened the kit up, this was jammed into this body, so it may have squeezed these in some, and who knows what kind of temperatures the kit had been in, and what heat extremes it had been exposed to, or or who, what, where. But at any rate, it left if you line this side up, you left a great big gap over here, and if you tried to line this side up perfectly, you left a big gap over here, and then it didn't mate up here. So I did the old school plastic weld plastic weld method or technique. And if you're not familiar with it, it's where you take styrene plastic and you use it as a welding medium. What I did was I took an old for sale sign that I had laying around for flat stock, for patchwork or whatever, and I cut thin strips that would fit. I don't know if you can see it, but the mating surface, there it is right there. I still have a little gap, but this is as wide as the mating surface is right here. So I took strips here and here and across here, and I took my tester's liquid cement and went across the mating surface on the bus body, and I brushed it. I let it soak in a little. I brushed it, let it soak in a little, let it sit, brushed it, did it like 3 or 4 times. Then I started laying my strips, started putting my layers of flat stock on. So I put one layer on, made sure it was stuck to the cement I'd already put on, went over the top of the flat stock with a coat of the cement, let it set, another coat, let it set, and then put another layer of the flat stock, so forth and so on. So there's 2 layers on here. Then I went back and soaked that final layer like 3 or 4 times and let it set like a minute or 2 each time. And then I sat there about 5 minutes until I took the prongs of my tweezers and just poked down into the mixture, and it pulled up white plastic, basically, just like if you had heated it up with a lighter and it started to get stringy like you're going to do stretch proof or an antenna or whatever. That's basically what it did. I knew then I was ready to grab the cowl, and I made it up as close as I could and lined it up as close as I could, and I think it come out pretty good. Like I said, didn't have a lot of room to work with, and just mashed it down until all this oozed out all the way around. And in the process of mashing this down, a little of the stock pushed out, so I have some trim work to do. I'll take my knife and go in here and remove some of this, and then go across here and take out some of this, and I may have to use my Dremel in here, I don't know, and take some of this down. But I think you can see that it made a pretty good little wedge of plastic right there, and a nice seam up through here. I had a little seam that was open. I took some and put down in there, drizzled the liquid cement into it, and let it set all of, I think, Saturday, and pretty much all day, all night, and then let it set up good. And it's, as you can see, you can almost take the whole bus. You can take the front and twist the whole bus body. Now it's not going anywhere, so that's something you might want to keep in mind if you have a model that has a flat surface to a flat surface, and you don't want to take the chance of having that just be glued together, because just as sure as God made little green apples, when you hit it, if you hit it hard or you tap it against or bump it into something on your workbench or whatever, it's going to come loose, and it will come loose probably at the most inopportune time, and you'll have to try to scrape all that off and try to come up with something else. So anyways, that's pretty much everything that I have for now. I'm sure this is way long time wise, but I wanted to tell you everything that's happened since I saw you or talked to you last time. There's where we're at. I think this is going to be fun. This is going to be kind of my Christmas build, just to have a fun thing to do. And then I'm going to get back into some of my new models I've got. I've got a couple of funny cars I want to get done. I have the Chi-Town Hustler I want to get done, the Candies and Hues funny car that I want to get done, and some other stuff. So plenty of things to do for the coming year, and should keep me busy. Okay, guys, until I talk to you next time, be safe, take care of one another. May God bless you and your family. Talk to you soon. Bye.